Okay, over the last two classes, I've given you a couple of these worksheets where you had to determine which conic shape or conic figure it is. And what I'm going to do in this video is just go over the answers to those two, just so you understand the reasoning, so you can have some extra practice or reminders if you need it before your test. So starting up here on the top, this one is a circle. Why is it a circle? Well, because there's a plus sign, because it doesn't equal 1. An ellipse has to equal 1. Okay, so that's where you're going to know it's a circle. Middle picture is an ellipse. Vertex and axis of symmetry, that can only occur in a parabola. That's why it's a parabola. On the second line over here, because there's a plus sign and because it equals a positive 1 and the numbers on the bottom are different, then it has to be an ellipse. If the numbers on the bottom are the same, then it becomes a circle. The center, the only place you have the center is in a circle, an ellipse, and hyperbola. A parabola has a vertex. Looking at this one, because there's a minus sign, it's a hyperbola. A hyperbola is the only one that can equal -1 or +1. We don't get that with the other graphs. It also can have the same number or different numbers underneath. Third row, first row, that's a circle. Vertices occur in a hyperbola, and they also occur in an ellipse. So there's two answers. If there's more than one answer on your test, you're going to have to write both of them to get full credit. All right, on the second one, or the third one, that's a parabola that's making a U, and parabolas, remember, can open up, down, left, right. On the next one, the hyperbola is a minus sign. And so that's when we know it's a hyperbola. It can equal a positive or a negative, and it can have the same or different number underneath. The asymptotes only happen in hyperbola. This one, there's only two equations I'm going to give you that are not in standard form, and that is a circle and that is a parabola. The circle is going to have both an x squared and a y squared. That's why you know it's a circle. The parabola will only have one of them, and it'll say x equals or y equals. This one on the next row, x equals 2 times y minus 3 squared minus 8, that is a parabola. Because it says x equals, because there's only a y squared. Covertices only happen in ellipse. Third one over, only happens in ellipse because there's a plus sign and because it's a +1, and we don't have the same numbers underneath the fractions. This last one over here on the left is a circle, and we know that because we have both x squared and y squared. This is a hyperbola in the middle, and then over here, if you compare the circle to the parabola only has the x squared, and it says either x equals or y squared. If we look at the second one of these that we did on the second day in class, starting over here at the top left, this again is a circle because we have the x squared and the y squared. Vertices occur in an ellipse and a hyperbola. This is a parabola. They can open right, left, up, down. The next line, this is an ellipse because it has a plus sign, it equals 1, and the numbers underneath are not the same. This is an ellipse. This over here is a parabola. I know that because it only has a y squared, and it says either x squared or x equals or y equals. It doesn't have both x squared and y squared like a circle does. Okay, bottom left, that's a hyperbola. In the middle, this is the standard form for a parabola. Parabola is always going to say x equals or y equals something. The other ones don't do that. That's how you know it is. The center is found in a circle, a hyperbola, or ellipse, not in a parabola. A parabola has a vertex, not a center. The slopes of the asymptotes, that occurs in a hyperbola. This picture is a circle, and then last but not least, that it's a hyperbola. We know that because there is a minus. In a hyperbola, it can equal 1 or -1, and in a hyperbola, you can have the same numbers or different numbers underneath. So hopefully that helps, because the last page of your test will look like one of these charts that you will need to complete.